Bonjour, and welcome back to the French campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. So, this task force here was in a very big battle last month that really dragged on for quite a bit. So, we got two of the René Magritte class not dreadnoughts remaining, which is good, because these are the bulk of the firepower as far as battleships go. The one battleship that was damaged ended up here, but that's a pre-dreadnought, so yeah. With the amount of ammunition they have remaining, I don't think this task force is ready for combat with another big American task force. So we're sending them back again. We're kind of just cycling back and forth between these two task forces, which is fine. So let's see, the Marseille task force. Let's have them move to Gibraltar, and let's assemble a new strike force there. These two are museum ships. So we're gonna need 2 more armored cruisers, which we can find here. That does mean we're bringing along the Russian one, which is still good to go. It's just it could never be refit because the game stole the design from me. The battle cruisers are ready in it says 2 months, but they are at 67% of a 3-month refit time. So I think that should be 1 month, actually. We'll see. If they're ready next month, we'll send out the battlecruiser force too. It's a rather light force, because I don't have any cruisers that are able to keep up with the battlecruisers. So they just don't get any. Light cruiser. Oh, light cruiser. Topeka. Wow, can this window stop jumping around? Ooh, Nayade, that's an old one. Similar size. They're both old ones, I think. Probably is an even battle. So, southwest. But that is, if you don't have the radio detection finder, the RDF, these reports here are with a pretty big margin of error. And with the RDF you also get, I think it's like a 10-degree margin of error. But we're just gonna assume they're up here somewhere. We are being spotted, so we're not too far off. They evidently have much better tower spotting than I do. There they are. That is mostly correct. Let's take a look at Topeka. 3.4 inches of armor at 30%. Mark 1 6-inch guns, okay. Yeah, I think we win this. With my inner belt factored in, they cannot main belt pen me. I got one more main gun, but Mark 1 6-inch guns Not the biggest threat. And bad torpedoes as well. This one, of course, has reached veteran status after sinking so many destroyers. Almost a blast from the past with one of these light cruisers on the thumbnail. If we don't get anything else. Almost perfect accuracy with the 7-inch guns. In theory, that is. We're still missing. I'm just gonna sit here and shoot them. And launch the occasional torpedo. Is that torque gonna hit? Oh no. Nope. It was close though. I don't think we need the torpedoes. And some more flooding. Need some more hits in the stern there. No, I think we're good. There it goes. Nice. So, yeah, these things still have a place in the French Navy. Yeah, just gotta assemble a new strike force here, head out, and again, fight them in the Caribbean. And we're gonna have to fight these guys as well. Cam Ranh Bay. My force in Shanghai is... well, these two DDs are being refit, but we got plenty of torpedo boats. We're just gonna not bring the destroyers. Let's take care not to send them too close to the port, so they end up inside of it. Hang on, I got one more force, don't I, here in Singapore? And we're sending out the Shanghai force. Because, yeah, these got the not dreadnoughts. This is just pre-dreadnoughts. We got room for more crew, though. Like 2,500 more crew members. Are we going to bring in a couple more pre-dreadnoughts? Or a couple more cruisers? And given the crew amount, that might be better. Let's send in, hang on, let me just do the fine math here. Crew, 9,596, so 2.4 thousand we can fit in there. Unless we just so happen to get... it's one of these things I keep forgetting. Because that would be very lucky if we got increased task force sizes this month. But no, we're going to send out 1 pre-dreadnought, 1 armored cruiser. That should be less than 12,000 crew total. And then we can fight that huge task force. Right. These are all being refit. Yes, good. We are, yeah, 2 years away from getting the Mark III 13-inch gun, which will be a very good refit for the not dreadnought battleships, because they got those 13s. And the United States has had a revolution. And the Soviets like me for that. Transport losses very light this month. 2 transports lost. The Americans have been too busy with revolting to be sinking any of my transports. Up to 190%. So, yeah, monthly balance. We are repairing a bunch of stuff. 20,000 tons over. Will these battleships ever be launched? Suspending 1 was enough. Yes. Of course it was. They're 30,000 tons. Chipotle, that's a 1890 cruiser. Charleston, that's also an 1890 cruiser. This should be EC. No big task force meetings, though. You guys, you are following the armored cruiser. That's fine. That's perfect, actually. For being just a small collection of very outdated ships, this Caribbean squadron has really done a lot of work. I think this might be one of those cruisers that gets a class named after it. It should probably retire after this war and get a replacement built. Vandergrift. 7.2 main belt, but that's at only plus 15. So yeah, easily pen that if I can hit it. While they cannot really do much to me. Cannot go through my main belt at any range with their brown and black powder Mark 1 9-inch guns. And my light cruisers target something else now. Stop making splashes. Now this is like straight dog water, that light cruiser they have. We're just gonna send my lights out to deal with it. And there we go. Main belt pen on Vander Grift. And Vilkspar has flash fires already. Those Mark 1 turrets decided that, no, that's, actually no, that's the 6-inch turrets. Oh no, the 7-inch turrets as well. Everything decided that, nope, they had enough. They're leaving this planet. Torpedoes will not be needed, but there they go. 0 damage taken. I will take that. Now, with these being made ready, very minor repairs for most of these. It's just going to be done in a month. The second home squadron goes back into the Caribbean. One battleship, one battlecruiser. That's probably the newest one. 6 battleships. This is probably an older force. So we are encountering one of these two forces. Meanwhile, over here, this task force has yet to arrive. They are going a little bit north of Cam Ranh Bay. Again, I want to take care not to send my force too close and accidentally enter port. Let's see, that is, yeah, very close to the crew limit of a task force. Yeah, naval communications, that is the one. Advanced Navy Drills 3 is what I need to increase that. That's one of the techs that you really need early campaign, because the limit is especially early on when it's like 8,000 or 5,000 or whatever. It's very limiting, and then later on you just stop caring because you're probably not going to fill it anyway. Let's see. Wow, British GDP is just skyrocketing. It's not that long ago since they were at like 200 million. 200 billion, excuse me. Building 42 ships. Yeah, they're gonna have that massive navy over there rebuilt in short order. I kind of launch a naval invasion against the United States. Not quite yet, because we've never made it into the Caribbean itself. Maybe this time. December 1908. Yeah, we got one battle here in Southeast Asia. Nebraska, 1897. So that's not a dreadnought. California, 1906. That is a dreadnought. Missouri, that's one of those dinky ironclads that we fought in that big battle last month. So that's nothing to worry about. These things seem very decent. That one is we've seen that before too. The guns are a little bit weak for a dreadnought. South Dakotas, we've seen those. These things with the 8-inch guns too. And the rest is mostly like outdated stuff. Cowslip with the one single torpedo. And Willard Keith, we've seen plenty of those as well. 1.4 kilometer torpedoes, so that's Topeka. We sunk one of those earlier in the episode. Right, let's fight. So yeah, they're mixing in dreadnoughts with their pre-dreadnought stuff. Which is what I'm doing. Even if my dreadnoughts are not officially dreadnoughts. But effectively they are. Let's see. You can join in with the 2 cruisers here. We're just gonna sail this way. Torpedo boats are kind of scattered all over the place. That is a little bit annoying. I think if we detach those 2. And then just have them assemble and do donuts, as it were. Like so, until I need them. No destroyers with guns this time to screen away enemy torpedo boats, but they seem to only have those torpedo boats with the single torpedo each. And I'm pretty sure they only have like 900 meter range. Unless I'm mistaken. Let's clear away this traffic jam. We are being spotted by the battleship Idaho. I think that's their dreadnought. With one of those huge cage mast towers. Massive traffic jam, but it's temporarily. They should be able to find their place. reduce speed on the battleships as well. And turn off torpedoes. There you are. At least some of them. We'll see if the enemy decides to like split their forces this time around too. Idaho. 16-inch main belt. No inner layers. Which is probably the way to do it if you're building for, like, this was built for a regular, unmodified dreadnought improvement project. Where the first layers don't really do much. And Lena, that's the other not dreadnought. Actually, no, that's Lena and Liberté. Oh, getting some hits already. Like Champlain. Huntington. St. Louis. Those are my battleship targets. Right now. Armored cruisers. You get some targets as well. You're not firing yet, if the enemy is not in range. Mark 1-9s on the Atlantis. Rochester, Mark 1-8s. Let's see the number. Nebraskas have Mark 1-13s. 35 caliber. That's very short. And there are the destroyers. Coming in this way. Let's send out one torpedo boat squadron. Just dump some torps into that armored cruiser unit. We got 7-kilometer torpedoes now, so that should not be a big problem. And these are on low fuel as well, so like they're super slow. Yeah, because they've been sailing around Africa. Let's try and do a run on their battleships. Actually, my armored cruisers can start doing something about these. Because these are getting torpedoed, hopefully. Destroyers coming in behind. Just gotta be mindful of that. The one in the back is very far behind here. Are you in range, though? Not quite. We can pick out some targets for you anyway. Hopefully we're gonna get some effect on target from this. What kind of armor are we looking at here? 6 inches. Oh yeah, these are getting demolished. Hopefully before they can do much to my torpedo boats. Let's see. These guys have all launched. Except you in the back. You did not launch. But that's fine. You're good. This force, the one in the front, has already taken a tiny bit of damage. Torps going out. Number 2. Has now also launched. Number 3. Getting closer. Number 3 has taken some damage. Number 4 getting closer. They're trying to circle me with the destroyers. Number 3, torpedoes knocked out. You're done. I was hoping my battleships would be a little bit more effective in dealing with these armored cruisers. Huntington hasn't taken it yet, because they've been like changing targets and shit. I guess. Well, number 4 here still has torpedoes. I'm sure these cruisers would all be demolished before they had time to do much to my torpedo boats. And now this one also has torpedoes knocked out, so 2 torpedo boats got torpedoes away. Secondaries. And we do get torpedo hits though on their dreadnought. Idaho has taken 1 torpedo hit. Ideally that would be more than 1. But when the launchers seem to be attracting all the shells, that's what we get. You got 1 more unit of torpedo boats here that are rearming, so they can go for the battleships. In fact, my own battleships will now switch targets. Liberté, you're gonna deal with these guys. Yeah, we're gonna lose T2 here. If these cruisers sat unmolested for too long. Lena, let's hit you. 12-inch from which one? Idaho. Or not? Well, probably. Yeah, their torpedo boats are low on fuel as well. That's what you get for sailing around half the globe. Light cruisers are also low on fuel. Light cruisers are dealing with their destroyers. See, I can score torpedo detonation hits on this guy, but the torpedoes are still there. T1 will actually get her torpedoes back. He's taking a beating, but torps are still there. T5 also. So we've got many chances to get more torps on those enemy battleships. It seems like these destroyers are the only like fast torpedo armed ships they had that were not low on fuel. Airborne out of torps. Livermore scuttling. And I do not want any battleship friggin' wasting main gun ammunition on a torpedo boat. T5 has torpedoes almost ready again. T1 had torpedoes ready and launched at Huntington. T5 can join in the attack on the enemy battleships. Harvest Moon. Isn't that a game? I think that's like something like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing X-esque, but for, I think, like a handheld. Not really my genre, to be honest, but I know of it. No torpedo hits on these cruisers. .3 kilometer torps. Airborne is scuttling. These torpedo boats soon have their smoke launchers ready. And we're going for Idaho. Let's pick out some big gun targets again, because everything has probably gotten reset. And now some not so big gun targets. It would be the armored cruisers. But they're big enough. And secondary can all just wipe out that torpedo boat. We can just leave them to it as we try to go for the battleships. Ooh, surprise torpedo boats that we didn't see. They're on low fuel though. Yeah, you can run into surprises like that in like pre-radar age. Yeah, this flank is handling itself. Battleship's currently invisible, but I know roughly where they are. Oof. T4 taking a beating. Can't do nothing without pausing the game. I think you're just gonna launch at Huntington. Then get out. And some of those torps might strike the enemy torpedo boat. That's fine. I said pause. Come on. Even that is lagging. Torps outbound. And we are going to get some torpedo hits on Huntington. There they go. Let's see how these torps do. Enemy battleships are almost dead in the water, so shouldn't be too difficult to hit them. Let's see on the other flank here what's happening. We're sinking enemy ships. That's good. Can just keep doing that. They're both called Nebraska. And one more on Idaho, because that's really the one that we're gonna struggle with. We get torpedo hits on Idaho. Might have overdone it with targeting Idaho. Maybe. We'll see. It was a tough ship. Anti-torp 2 and double bottom. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna sink that dreadnought. $142 million. And Idaho goes down. Yeah, we saw last time when we faced one of these that my 13-inch not dreadnought guns have to get really close to deal with that armor. We got a torp hit on Nebraska as well. Wyoming, nothing to worry about. Nebraskas have 14 inches of plus 50%. Yeah, we can deal with that. That's not a big problem. Let's see, Chelsea. You're actually detaching. We're going back and dealing with these two armored cruisers. Saving my torpedo boats. Oh, you're all targeting one light cruiser. How not ideal. I would like as many of these torpedo boats to survive as possible. Actually, I know they're not very high value ships, and they can easily be rebuilt in just a couple months, but still, I think they've done a good job. They deserve to make it. They sank that one dreadnought that my own battleships would have struggled with. And that could have done some pretty terrible things to my armored cruisers, although my battleships should mostly be safe. These are not the punchiest battleship guns around. Gonna watch the fireworks here. I love it when even the pause button is lagging. So I missed the muzzle flash shot for the thumbnail, but I think this this could kind of work. We can see the targets. We can see the like the crescent formation of my battle line. Yeah, we're just gonna gun it for St. Louis. Before she can take out my my torpedo boats. Hopefully. Might not be in time though. Is Liberté in range? 19 kilometers? No. I would have liked to have my battle cruisers here in this battle. Yeah, that torpedo boat is scuttling. What can we pen with this? Can we do 9 inches? Yes, we can. Target Huntington instead. You are firing AP, my boy. This force is mostly gone. mean, they got one armored cruiser left, which is sinking. Now then, target selection. Ocean, Bouvet. Lena. Or Iana, that's an I guess. And Liberté. We got torpedo boats there too. Almost forgot. But they're not really a threat when they're running out of fuel. This battleship might be... it's 7 kilometers. You can go through 9.5 inches. That is potentially enough. I've got equal to 10 with the inner belt. Okay, you can use our torpedoes too. Actually, you're not in danger of hitting my battleships here. And you got torpedoes of your own at 2.7 kilometers. Might have overextended Chauncey here a little bit. Should be fine. He's now in a 1v1 duel with St. Louis. Well, it's not really a 1v1 when we got so many battleships targeting that same cruiser, but we got stuff targeting my Chauncey as well. Torps going out. St. Louis goes down. Let's see, Solferino and Bouvet. You can target Huntington. I want Iena and Liberté targeting Nebraska. Ocean can, these are like very far away. Target Nebraska as well. I'm bringing you in closer. And there are torpedo boats here, so they evidently have many left. They're just so low on fuel, they're just not able to do anything. Yeah, there we go. You can easily deal with that cruiser. And we are dealing with this battleship as well. main battle tanks. Main guns, secondary guns. Actually, battleship main guns, turn off. Because you're running a little bit low on ammunition, and I need you to deal with those enemy battleships. Wyoming, what kind of armor do you have? 17, but plus 10. Not gonna reset the calculator for that, but I'm pretty sure my 13-inch guns can handle that quite handily. Torpedo boat hiding behind the sinking wreck of one of our sisters. But there she goes. Yeah. Iana has taken a little bit of flooding damage, somewhat reducing the speed of this line. Also, my not dreadnoughts are slower than my pre-dreadnoughts. We are also turning off the main guns on these because they need to deal with the light cruisers, probably. And now we're just like maneuvering. Secondary guns on my pre-dreadnoughts still being very, very useful. Even oh wow, a bunch of light cruisers. It's just found. Let's send in the armored cruisers to deal with that. That's the armored cruisers, and the battleships just kind of swap positions. That is indeed a whole bunch of light cruisers that are kind of outdated. So let's pick out some targets for you again. Youngstown, Monterey, Little Rock, Flint, and Manchester. And you are weapons free. What kind of armor are we looking at here? 3.4. We might be looking at a lot of overpens, but I think the 7-inch guns should handle that just fine. Let's see. Battleships. Actually, Solferino, you can target that light cruiser. And Liberté, Nebraska. I think this task force was the one that was sent like back and forth a couple times between Asia and the Caribbean. So no wonder so many of them are low on fuel. Actually, it's like one that's low on fuel and then one that is not low on fuel. two different classes. Some of them are low, some of them are not low. Let's slow you down a little bit more. 12.4. Also, torpedoes free, if you will. My torpedo boat is being hounded by enemy torpedo boats. There's another ship I'd like to survive, but I'm not sure what I can do to save it at this point. Armored cruisers are absolutely massacring the enemy light cruisers. If you would please load AP, that would be helpful. Some of you were firing HE. Or light cruiser is low on fuel. So many light cruisers, but almost all of them are badly outdated. Wyoming has taken some pretty big hits. 17 inches doesn't mean much when it's just like iron. And there we go, huge hits on Nebraska. And my poor torpedo boat is now taking a beating from these guys. We got two more up here. Once they're done, my cruisers will have to turn around again, go back and join the battleships in dealing with those light cruisers. Have we sunk Nebraska yet? We have sunk the Nebraska. Let's see. Ocean, Bouvet, Iena, Solferino, Liberté. And Iena wastes no time scoring a bunch of hits on Marblehead. Look, there were actually two left. I thought it was just the one. Manchester left here. Like, they have some that are not low on fuel, but they're divisioned with some that are. So that's just If they'd been in their own divisions, not held back by those that can barely move, they might have been able to do something useful. We're gonna sink some Manchester soon. I turned off the main guns. They were running very low. There we go. Come back here now. Battleships versus almost immobile light cruisers is not a fair fight. Even if the battleships are running low in ammo. Cincinnati, what kind of armor do you have? 3 inches. Torpedoes out from ocean. They're actually coming in to torpedo me. And they have launched. That's something. Ocean, yeah. But I was in a turn. Can't see the torps. Then again, I have really bad torpedo spotting. We're good. Liberté and Solferino. You can target those two. We're just gonna finish these off and then end the battle. I'm not gonna go looking for stray torpedo boats. Which seem to no longer be pursuing the T1, which was able to limp away. New Haven down. You can focus Princeton. You can focus Montpellier. And there. Let's end it. How many survived? 4 torpedo boats. Yeah. That I was not gonna go looking for. That was pretty good. We lost some torpedo boats. Attacking those battleships. But I'm mostly happy with that. Better than the dreadnought, the Idaho, punching holes into my armored cruisers. Well, that was another long battle, and we got one more, but this will have to be next time. This is not a huge task force, for once. This is not like 50 ships or whatever. They got one more of these ironclad things. Not a threat. They got the Juno. We might get revenge on the Juno. Cleveland, Topeka, we've seen those before. That's like whatever. Flags, that's my torpedo boat. But, of course, the threat here is these two. Constellation class battlecruisers. Yeah, those 14-inch guns outrange mine, and they punch through more armor. And they can pen my battleship main belts at ranges at which I cannot pen them. So, this is going to be a bit of a challenge. They only have 2 of them, though. But I only have 2 of the not dreadnought battleships and 2 pre-dreadnoughts, so I guess we're kind of even there. Very confident that my cruisers can deal with theirs, though. Goodbye, and take care.